Hey girl, hey, thanks for joining. Adrienne Pont here with Chandra Lake. And we decided to just go into a little bit of a discussion about different things that homeowners need to do for the springtime, like a springtime checklist. So we went over just a couple different um, different things. And so what I would say is that like for me personally, what I do is like for springtime, couple different things. I like to check out the roof, get up there. I have gutter guard at my house, so no leaves and debris get into the gutters. But that's definitely something that as a homeowner you want to check into. You want to make sure that your gutters are free and clear of debris and, like mud and things of that nature. And even the granules from the roof shingles can get in there and with the water and the leaves kind of create like a muck that you want to get out of there and make sure that that's clean. And if you do have stuff in your gutters, I would suggest to, after you clean them, take the hose and run the water up there so that it's nice and clean. And then to me, the gutter guard is definitely a really good investment just because if you don't like cleaning your gutters, you'll never have to clean them again if you get that gutter guard. So that's a plus for that. And then another thing that I would say is to inspect the concrete around your house for, cracks, damages, any type of, change in the concrete, just so you're aware of what's going on around your home. You like wintertime causes the concrete to expand and contract because with the snow and, I mean, obviously look at how our roads look,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
In
you
Michigan.
fall yeah, you fall into a pothole and never like come back up from it. So that's definitely something that I would suggest doing. I also suggest running the outside faucets just to, make sure that the water pressure is still, good, that the faucets are still working, your spigots and things of that nature. And then I will also give your AC some attention if you have an AC unit at your home. You want to look at the line set. You want to look at the unit itself, make sure that the unit isn't damaged. And then during the wintertime, something you might want to do is to cover it up with like a tarp and kind of like enclose it so that water and snow are not just sitting on your condensing unit and possibly damaging it. So I would definitely look at that. A lot of people, like get their furnace maintained and all that, but I just change my filters quite frequently, and I think that's very helpful, changing your filters. I change them usually once a month. It's recommended that you change it every 3 months, but I just like to change it every month because, with like dust and all that kind of stuff going into the system, I just think it helps the system to maintain longer. And even like the rental properties that I manage and have, I change those every month as well, like the filters there, just because, like if you have a basement that's not finished, there's a lot of dust and all that down there. So you definitely want to just be aware of it. And I think it's a good little, maintenance tip. You also want to like inspect your windows and your doors. Make sure if there's a lot of air coming through them, if there's any damage to your screens. I mean, you definitely don't want like bugs in your house if you open up your windows. Like right now is like the second really nice day that we've had in Michigan. Yay. So I've got my windows open. I've got like my screens, going or whatnot. So like the fresh air can, get into the house. So you definitely want to keep track of that, make sure that you're checking on that as well. What are some things that you do, Chandra, at your home just in preparation for spring?
I do a lot of the things that you suggested, with the exception of the roof. And I probably need to pay more attention to that. Even the gutters, to be honest, I need to pay more attention to that as well. I think I paid less attention to it because I don't necessarily have any trees. And I know that doesn't matter, but I don't have any trees that are like close to me that fall onto my yard, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I think that's something I need to pay attention to. I like to, for the most part, I like to change the filter. I like to do dust around the return units of the vents in the home as well. I like to clean my ceiling fans because they've been kind of, off for the season for the most part. And I
Wow.
reverse them too. Like, so I try to reverse them in the winter to bring down the hot air, and then I like to reverse it the other way to bring down the cold air. And I always forget, so I have to, look it up to see which way, either clockwise or counterclockwise, that I need to go.
Okay, those are good tips too.
Yeah, but I
What are some of the things that when you're working with homeowners, what are some of the things that you suggest for them, for like first time home buyers, things that they should do? Do you like provide them with a checklist of things they should do, or how do you go about educating your potential clients for that?
actually, that is one of the things that is in my packet. I am revising my packet based on the latest homeowners that I had. I think there are some things that I probably could have shared with them more, as far as let's see, like utilities. So I'm revising my checklist to not just include new home ownership things, but also just what it means to own a home. You got to switch things in your name. I know it sounds obvious, but I realized that it is not as obvious. I really wanted to do this as well because I realized that um, there's a generation of homeowners that are coming up who lived in homes that their parents didn't own, and so there's a lot of misinformation or not enough information of what it means to be a homeowner, what it means what you need to do when the seasons change. And I could just speak for myself because there's a lot that I probably didn't know. And one of the things that I did when I first got my home is, don't laugh at me, I bought this book. I got this,
Okay.
and because especially if you are a single woman and you don't know how to do things yourself, it can be pretty intimidating, trying to, get into a new home and not knowing what do I need to do. And the book does have a checklist in it, what to do at the change of the season. So I try to follow that. Um, yeah.
That's good. I mean, when you're like a person who you like to learn new things and you like to not just throw your hands up and be like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, even just Googling something, like, there's a lot of things that I'm not familiar with. But if I have like someone who's interested in it or I need to know about it, then I'm going to Google it and I'm going to make it my business to try to learn as much about it as possible. You know what I mean? Like, I have clients right now who are um they're purchasing a parcel of land. And
Okay.
so I really didn't know a lot about perk tests and all of everything that goes into actually doing a new build of a house. So I have been, talking to inspectors, and they're doing it in Exeter Township, which is in Monroe County. And so I've been, talking to just different people. Like, I met a sewer contractor who does septic systems, and he's been doing it. Well, his family's been doing it since the like 1950s. Like, so as I'm learning this process for them, it's like, okay, I mean, my aunt has a septic system in her house in Brighton, but I don't really know much about it other than, what I've learned from talking to um the sewer contractor. And so it's definitely something that as you go, you just learn. Like, I know there's two different types of systems. There's the engineered septic, and then there's just a regular one, and the engineered is far more expensive.
Mhm.
So you just as you go, you learn, which I mean, we all do that as realtors and professional people, period. So I think that's something, that as far as first time home buyers, even if we provide them with the information, I would always suggest to them, hey, if you're curious about something, just Google it. Go on YouTube, watch some videos. There's probably videos on, oh, hey, what to do if you're a first time home buyer, like this one that we're doing.
Mhm. Mhm. I completely agree. I think it's a different age now because you can pretty much look up anything. So basically, what you need, just give them a checklist to, see what they don't know. What they don't know, like you said, they can just Google it. So about the spring cleanup. So I also like to do a lot of yard maintenance too. I like to go out and make sure I put the seasonal spring fertilizer down, the weed control down. A lot of people don't like that, but I just don't want my yard full of dandelions and things like that. And I probably pay more attention to the front yard than I do the backyard, only because I have a dog. So, the backyard pretty much is, you know what I mean? You know how what they do. I like to, pull up all the trees. So I think I asked you yesterday about a privacy fence, and so behind my house, my neighbor behind me, he has a privacy fence, but I don't. So behind his privacy fence, there's a lot of like trees that have like grown up, and it's, he's going to come over and kind of cut them down because he has an oak tree, and you know how that is, they kind of drop their seeds everywhere. So that takes a lot of my spring cleanup as well, like on the outside. I try to do a little bit in the garage, and then I like to clean around the windows on the inside from the, not snow, but you know how the buildup of dust that happens over
Yeah.
this over the winter time. I like to clean up there and clean my screens. And I bought a power washer last year. So I'm yeah, so I'm going to I actually want to do the back of my house because I see a little bit of green algae back there on the siding. So I'm gonna do that. And
Good
then
idea.
also, yeah, kind of clean the windows too with the new power washer I've got, and also the concrete of the driveway. You mentioned checking around your house. Now, this is something that I probably should have done maybe last year, and that is the connection between my house and the driveway. It seems like it's widening. You know what I mean? Like the space there, and it shouldn't be a space there. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna need.
you check that because you definitely don't want like any water intrusion in your basement because that could cause, really expensive problems,
Mhm.
for you later, with the water intrusion in the basement. And that's something, I'm not sure how old your house is, but like for the older houses, especially the ones in Detroit, just working as a contractor, being in there and even, touring some of the homes with potential buyers that I'm working with, um, there's that telltale sign of water in the basement that
Yeah.
you can smell it and then you can see it. Like if there's paneling down there and the paneling is discolored and like at the bottom, there's some water coming in from somewhere. Or if
Mm.
it's just got that like Michigan dank basement smell that we all know.
Right.
Especially those of us that grew up in Detroit, like when you walk in, you're like, okay, yeah, there's probably some water down here somewhere. So
Yeah.
you definitely want to, pay attention to that, and look at your walls in your basement too. Like, do you see any evidence of water intrusion? Do you see any brown bubbling paint? Is there paint that's like kind of disintegrating and coming like off the wall and onto your floor? Those are things that you definitely want to pay close attention to for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the things that I definitely need to do at my house. My house is probably of 1950. I think it
Okay.
was 1950. So yeah, it's pretty old, I think. Not.
Well, I mean, I think that's like the on the average age, like, a newer house that was built in 2000s, those houses would have a different set of concerns and issues, like a sump pump, which, ugh, it's like sump pumps are they're scary because if they break down or back up, it's like a lot of mess to clean up. And, like if you're not home, it could just be a complete disaster. And of course, we're putting my contractor hat on. I've seen many a homes um, completely devastated and ruined from a sump pump failure. Where, like, say it was a bank owned property and the bank was kind of lackadaisical about getting it taken care of, and it's ruined plenty of homes. So that's definitely something, that the newer homes, that's a concern for them. But the homes built in the 1950s, I mean, that's like the norm. And honestly, a lot of the houses built in the 50s, they're very sturdy and they're very resilient. You still have some very good quality homes, especially if they're brick. They're very resilient, and not a lot of problems with a lot of them if they're, maintained properly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's the purpose of these videos with you, to help us maintain our homes. I think especially for those who might feel a little intimidated. And again, I always appreciate your skill set, because I feel like that's probably a huge, argument about not owning their own home because of the maintenance that's involved.
Yeah,
People.
and like you said, people are scared. They don't want to get into a situation where they're feeling like they're, not in familiar territory, or, getting taken advantage of by contractors that are telling them things that they don't need. And that's why, knowledge is power. Educate yourself so that you're an informed consumer,
Mhm.
and that even if you are talking to a contractor about something, they'll know that, okay, this person did a little bit of research. This person actually knows a little bit about, what they're talking about. So you definitely want to, do that, for sure. So there was a couple other things on this list here, and then I just posted something on my professional business page about, different tips for home maintenance for the
Mhm.
spring. But um, they were saying, replacing the fire detector batteries. That's always something you want to do. And then inspecting your chimney for possible damage that goes with getting up on that roof and
Mhm.
checking it out. If you got a ranch style house, then I think it's okay. But if you've got a bungalow or something bigger, you got to be careful up there because you don't want to, break a leg or anything trying to get up there.
Yeah,
Safety first.
but
Um, yeah, and then flushing the hot water heater. That's not something I've ever done. I do know a contractor that does that at his house to get like the soot out of the
okay.
bottom of his hot water tank. It's not something I've ever done, but I do think that there's obviously videos on YouTube that show you how to do it if you're interested in that. It's just not something that I've ever done
Mhm.
personally. So
So quick question. I know so you're a licensed builder. You're comfortable with getting on the roof. How many of these items under here would you suggest someone who is not as skilled that they should probably seek a professional to take care of for them? I mean, I guess they could hire someone
well,
for all, but
the thing for me is the best advice anybody ever gave me was when in doubt, don't. So again, if you're uncomfortable with doing something, just don't do it. A lot of the things that are on the list, you know, I would rather delegate it out. I'm not gonna um do things that are time consuming or that are going to take me away from income generating activities, because that's obviously the name of the game when you're an entrepreneur, which we are. And both we're both like dual career realtors. So I try to do things that I know are within my skill set. Like I would feel comfortable cleaning the gutters. I would feel comfortable power washing. I would feel comfortable changing the filters. I would feel comfortable getting up on the roof because I've been on a roof and, actually trained when I first got into the business on doing roof repairs and chimney repairs and all that. So I trained under other contractors just so I feel like I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this, and, I know how it should be done correctly. But I definitely, if it was a roof where it was like maybe like one of those old school houses in Detroit with the like the ones in Rosedale Park where it's like a two-story and it's kind of more square, I probably wouldn't feel that comfortable getting up there. But if it
okay.
was just a ranch or like a regular bungalow, I wouldn't have a problem with, putting the ladder up there and getting up there, because I've done it plenty of times. Just, even in my work doing property preservation, we are required to get photos up on top of the roof. A lot of times I'll just use my iPhone and zoom in if I'm doing that. But, it's always nice to get up there. And there's things that you can't really tell from a picture. Like if you walk the roof and there's soft spots or spots that are rotted, you can't tell that from a picture. That's something that you physically have to get up there to see. So,
Okay.
yeah, but anything that you're not comfortable with, I would definitely say to, if it's within your budget, hire a professional, or if it's not within your budget, to watch some YouTube videos and educate yourself on it. See if after you educate yourself, am I comfortable doing this? If not, well, I would put it on my list of things to do and do it when my budget affords me to do it for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Well, I like this list. I mean, it is not intimidating, as you guys can see. There's not a lot of items on here, and many of these items you can pretty much do yourself. So yeah, this is a great list.
okay, great. Well, I do appreciate you taking time on your busy Sunday to pop in and chat about these things. I want to continue for you and I to create content and to, continue to add value to the clients that we're servicing, and even potential clients, and even people that we're not directly working with. Maybe they might be on YouTube looking for this type of a video. So thank you for tuning in. If you want more content, please, put comments in the YouTube section. Please like, share, and follow. Thank you.
Thank you.